Hi, I'm Bran, and I love these type of Christmas movies.
And I'm Dan, and I despise movies that are put on Prime and get 3 cents every time somebody watches it.
I'm Alonso, and a sugar-free caramel macchiato with oat milk and no whip. And this
is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Dan, you're giving the
boy.
movie too much credit. It's 3
3
cents per 100 hours.
I thought it was 1,000 hours.
100.
Oh, so I didn't know this. Did you know this, Alonso? You can put your movie on Prime Video. So I finished this movie, and I don't want to spoil my hot take, but I was like, I can't believe this is on Prime. And then it turns out you can just put your movie up there. Like you could sell a book on Amazon, and every 100 hours watched, you make 3 cents.
Wow.
So all that to say,
on there, we helped.
between the three of us.
I speak for yourself. I watched it on Hoopla.
Okay.
So
I don't know how that
I supported my local library.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how that works.
We gave the makers of this movie roughly like 8.8 of a cent or something, or like 800ths of a cent.
But I
don't
think
know.
like low budget movies like this will get it everywhere, like to stream for free.
Sure.
So because they're like, no one's gonna rent our movie. No one knows what this is. So we'll get something at some point, right?
We found out about it somehow, so there's that.
Well, because
we are the biggest fans of Holly. Whatever was that movie called? Christmas
Holiday
Hotel.
Yes.
Holly Hotel. Thank you.
Listen,
Yeah, right.
I've said it once. What's the name of the company? It's
JPR.
No one has been we're the biggest supporters of JPR Studios.
They should write us a check
in the podcasting space, and I'm willing to bet that farm on that.
Yeah.
I don't
Outside
think
of Holly, Michigan.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
don't think any podcast has talked about a JPR Studio movie more than us. And so I think we should get a cut of. I think we should get a cut of that.
A cut of those 3 cents every
an eighth
100
of that,
hours.
eighth of a cent.
Oh my God.
Contact us. We'll cut a deal. We are talking about the sequel to Christmas at Holly Lodge, which is a Fireman for Christmas. Very excited to talk about it. Happy Christmas in July to you, Alonso.
Yes, Merry Christmas in July to
know,
everybody.
This is a big change of pace from what we normally do.
That's
with
right.
you.
It's very different.
We'll see if we can find our footing.
Look, that you guys are carrying on despite the fact that everything Hallmark is doing this month is something you've already covered, except for the boat show.
And we're covering it.
We're covering it.
I had hats off to that.
How'd you like the first one?
Yeah. I wonder how many waivers people had to sign after they spent God knows how much to be on that cruise. That, oh, by the way, we're going to have cameras everywhere.
Yeah. And it's not staged at all. No way. No way. No how is it staged? Not even a little bit. Are these stories?
They would never.
No way.
I mean, the folks that have listened to the first episode of our show know how I'm feeling about it. I'm having a great time.
Yep.
Having a great time.
Hey, would still go, now out of more morbid curiosity than anything, but in the same way that would visit Holly, Michigan.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think we could go there and probably make a better movie while we're there.
It's entirely possible.
Think about the tens of views we would get on our YouTube video of exploring the town of Holly, Michigan, where the Holly Hotel was
visiting
filmed.
the locations.
Yeah.
So this is the coffee shop where she ordered her drink.
Here's the park bench.
Here's
For the olds that aren't dressed appropriately for the cold.
we're gonna go to Detroit to find that ice skating rink for the one scene in Detroit. Okay, are we ready?
Let's do
You
it.
want to dive in?
Let's
dive in. All right, A Fireman for Christmas. It originally premiered at the Maple Theater on December 17th, 2023.
I was there.
And then it made its way to the streamers, getting their 3 cents per 100 hours on July 2nd, 2024.
Which turns out to be a lot less than I thought. It's like 9,000ths
It's not
of
great.
a penny.
It's not great. But what can you do? And it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with a slow-mo shot of a big old horse pulling a sleigh, and it goes on for an eternity. We go into a house and we see these two best friends. They're talking about where people are going to be sitting at her wedding.
Yes.
That's right. Kathy and police officer Matt are finally getting married.
I knew those kids could do it.
That's right.
Love story of the century.
They took their relationship into a 55 and a 25, if you know what I mean. I don't actually really know what I mean, but it was fun. So Kathy's friend Danielle is feeling a bit sad because last Christmas she was broken up with her boyfriend on Christmas Eve in the middle of the church service between Silent Night and Joy to the World.
Sounds like the worst game of Clue of all time. The ex-boyfriend at the Christmas Eve service in between Silent Night and Joy to the World.
Using his words. But
Killing her softly.
But she's here. She's here, and she is going to try to help make sure that Kathy's wedding is perfect. And in the middle of their conversation, we cut to see a guy walking his Dalmatian, and then it cuts back to them. We'll get to that guy in a little bit. Danielle decides that she's going to go off to her favorite coffee shop and order her favorite drink, a tall caramel macchiato, sugar-free with oat milk with no whip.
With no whip. It's important.
And, she then has a totally real, normal human conversation with the barista at that coffee shop.
It's exactly how human beings would act if they were human. Yes.
She goes to enjoy her drink in the park in the freezing cold. She sits down next to this woman who's just staring at her, and she takes a call from her mom, and she looks down and she sees that Dalmatian that we saw is drinking her drink.
What drink was that?
The sugar-free
caramel
macchiato. It's tall.
Yeah.
No whip.
No whip.
And
Oat milk. Yeah.
he's like, drop. And she's like, what? She's very upset about what's going on here. He apologizes. She doesn't want any part of that. But when she goes back to her coffee shop the next day and orders her sugar-free caramel macchiato with oat milk, no whip, he comes right up. And turns out he's the guy that she's supposed to be meeting with about the wedding. The best man at the wedding, his name is Trevor, goes by TJ sometimes, occasionally, like twice. And he is Matt's best friend. So they start working together to plan stuff. Like the best man and the maid of honor do. They do the cake testing. They do the floral arrangements.
That's right.
Picks. And stuff that the wedding party is always in charge of.
Always has done, yes.
She invites her over to meet her old school dad. And dad is hesitant at first and then literally falls in love with this guy.
He's in love with him.
Dad is in love with TJ, and he takes her
in a non-platonic way where he wants to take him to his basement.
Yes,
his basement or his garage? I don't know that we ever.
It's hard to say.
It's his man cave where he takes men.
Yeah.
Yes. To watch Die Hard.
To watch Die Hard.
They're bros.
They're bros.
They're buddies.
Watching Die Hard.
Fully above board.
That's right. He then Trevor takes her to the fire department to show her all of the fire stuff, and then they get a call of there's something going on, an emergency, so he has to leave. Turns out the call is for her mom. She fell down while doing the dishes. She was just dehydrated, so she's gonna be fine. She talks to her mom about how she's not sure about really giving Trevor a chance, but mom is like, listen, your dad really likes him. He's
a big fan.
We cannot let this opportunity pass.
He likes this man. You should spend the rest of your life with him.
And what your father and your boyfriend do in the man cave is none of our business. Everything is good again until...
When's the last time you invited one of your men to the man cave?
Yeah. Everything is good again until she gets a call. The baker who is baking cupcakes for her best friend's wedding is in labor. And so she and Trevor go to the bakery to bake 200 cupcakes. They're having a blast. They're putting frosting on noses
8 cupcakes at a time.
Until a girl shows up and says that she is Trevor's girlfriend. Trevor does not correct her. End of scene. Danielle's now real sad. Luckily, there's a random guy sitting on a bench who gives her some advice. I don't know who this guy is.
Santa. It's Santa.
You look like that guy.
You look like the big guy. This guy looks like he ate the brawny man. He does not look like Santa.
But he's there. He gives advice.
Look, I get people tell me all the time that I look like George Lucas. This guy, to me, I thought was really rocking between the buffalo plaid and the glasses. Like, I thought the big guy was going to be, oh, you look like George Lucas.
You look like the big guy.
The big guy. You mean George Lucas? Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's the big guy at Skywalker Sound.
May the force be with you. Trevor shows up finally and explains he never actually did break up with this girl, but he thought they broke up because she moved away.
It's a breakup by omission.
And that is good enough for her. They go and they walk in the freezing cold and they kiss in front of a tree. And that, my friends, was
a fireman for Christmas. We did it.
Well, let's take a break. We'll come back and we will break this movie down here on Deck the Hallmark. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're talking about A Fireman for Christmas, the much anticipated sequel to Christmas at the Holly Hotel.
People have been clamoring.
Yes.
All those unanswered questions.
Yes. And the good news is there's another Christmas movie from JPR. Two more that we'll get to at some point. Because I guess
Are you sure?
We're in it
He
now.
made 2 last year.
No,
We're
he
in
didn't.
it
He's
now.
clearly making money on these movies.
And one's a period piece.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
It's set during the Civil War.
Civil Christmas.
God, no.
Civil Christmas.
Oh boy.
Should we do that next week? Should we scrap our plan? Like,
Oh my God. Do you want to see my head explode?
I
need a gap. I need a gap.
We'll
please.
get to it later this summer.
I need a gap of
We'll
10
get
to
to it.
20 business years.
We'll do fine. Twist our arm. We'll do one JPR Christmas movie a month until the holiday season. Okay. Someone has to do it.
No.
Who else is going to get to Christmas romance at the Roanoke Ranch? Who else?
Civil War? Shoot me in the face right now.
Civil Christmas.
It's just like The Damned.
It's Civil Christmas. Okay, let's get to this one. Before we get to Civil Christmas, we got to talk about Fireman for Christmas. Let's start with the hot takes where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. I'll start with you, Alonso.
Wowzers. Yeah, more of this from these folks. I love the idea that we're making a sequel to that movie, and that this is a party planning movie where we don't get to see the party. I think before we get we'll get into the what's later. There's a one or two.
There's a boatload. Oh my God.
But the thing here is, I think people like to watch Hallmark movies and think to themselves, oh, I could write one of those. I could make one of those. And it's like, if you did, it would more likely than not look like this. So maybe look at this as a cautionary tale that actually the people who make Hallmark movies, whether or not you like them, have an idea of what they're doing and know how to pull off at least that level of professionalism and competence and narrative and whatever else. This is terrible.
Yeah. I think it's worse than the last
I think it is too.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
Which isn't a fascinating trajectory.
They all made a movie and they got together and they were like, we learned nothing.
Yeah.
We'll make a worse movie.
It's something. I laughed more while watching this than I have in a long time. I watch with friends. It's a thoroughly enjoyable experience. But for not the reasons that I think old JPR is hoping for. As long as he's putting them out, I'm going to be watching. So there's that. As long as JPR is going to be employing his buddies and making some home videos, we'll be watching.
All right, there's got to be a better way to say that.
No.
Okay.
And so
Employing his buddies, making some home videos.
Wowzers. Crazy time. Really had fun. Dan?
The only take for this movie is this movie stormed the Capitol on January 6th. That's all I just kept thinking all movie long is this movie is out to tell everyone we just don't have enough conservatism in the Christmas movie space. And we're going to make the worst qualitatively for what they had to work with, the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen. Bar none. Christmas in Carolina has more going for it than this movie. Just does.
That's right.
This is an affront to everyone. It is, the Santa is not even Santa. I don't know how else to describe this to you. The guy that they want you to believe in is Santa, like a magic Santa to give sage wisdom, is not dressed, nor does he appear in any form or fashion like he is Santa Claus. They couldn't get a Santa suit from Party City. That's where this movie is. I'm convinced everyone in this movie has earbuds in and is getting fed their lines a phrase at a time. Because after every phrase, they stop long enough to hear the next phrase and then deliver it. There are long stretches in this movie where two people are talking, and I'm watching with Bran. They'll say their phrase, and then I'll go, line. And then they'll say their next phrase. It is crazy. They cannot say a complete sentence. It's like, even the first time she gives the coffee, it's sugar-free, caramel macchiato, oat milk, no whip.
They've got to get to 82 minutes, Daniel.
And here's the thing, is they don't. Without the credits, it's 76 minutes long. This movie doesn't have a single solitary redemptive scene in it. Not one, stem to stern. It is hysterically bad. And I shudder at a Civil War movie by JPR. Like, it is the stuff that nightmares are made of. I can't.
I trust Joel Paul. I trust Joel Paul with my life. I don't know your problem. I trust him with my life. Let's get to all the feels where we talk about what this movie gave us feels. Alonso?
I had one, I want to say, intentional laugh for this entire film. That was,
go ahead,
when he tells her that the dog's names are Stop, Drop, and Steve. And then says, no, just kidding. It's Stop, Drop, and Roll. That made me laugh. I'm sorry. God. It caught me by surprise. And that was it. That's all. That was my one positive response for the entire 76/82 minutes of this thing.
Brand, did you laugh at that?
No. So I'll say this. There's an interesting thing that happens in this movie where the first few scenes of this movie, they put really bad digital snow, like snowing down. And then at some point it just starts snowing. And when it starts snowing,
and they don't know what to do.
And when it starts snowing, I'm like, that actually looks pretty good. So shout out to snow.
Shout out to snow.
It's still magical. Still wonderful. Dana?
This movie has a scene in a bakery, which we'll get to later, I'm sure. And the woman is speaking with a French accent. And then somebody comes in and is like, no, she's from East Lansing. She just decides to talk like that. And I'm like, that's really funny. Instead of I was like, hey, that's a really cool idea. And then they absolutely ruin it by in the very next scene, walking down the street and reminding you again,
yes,
she's from Lansing. And all of a sudden it becomes, oh, this movie really is the worst movie. So that's as close as I got.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to the wait, what, the Hallmark here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're talking about a fireman for Christmas. It's time for the Wait What?
The next 45 minutes of your life.
It's where we talk about what this movie made us go, wait, what? A twist. This week we're going to do the things in this movie that actually didn't make us go, wait, what? So just to make it shorter, it'll make it easier on us. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Well, actually, one of mine has to do with the lady with the French accent from East Lansing. She runs the bakery for the couple that owns the coffee shop, and the couple that owns the coffee shop are the ones that go into labor and can't make the cupcakes. Why can't the woman from East Lansing make the cupcakes if she runs the bakery?
An effing store full of cupcakes. Yeah. No patrons. A perfect place to buy cupcakes.
Barring that, why can't the bride, who is introduced to us in the previous film as an extraordinary chef who can make miracles happen with no planning or prep time whatsoever, why can't she lend a hand to all this?
No.
And then, of course, the biggest question is, who the hell serves cupcakes at their wedding?
Yeah, the old classic wedding cupcake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so all of that was insane.
Aaron says a lot of people. A lot of people, apparently.
Really? Okay.
I've never been to a wedding with cupcakes instead of a cake.
Yeah, I mean cupcakes and sure, but instead of never. But whatever. Who knows what the kids are?
A pull apart?
No, like so.
I've seen a pull apart where they're all cupcakes, but it looks like a cake.
No, I've seen them where it's like so the couple cuts like a small tier, but then instead of having to cut a giant cake for everyone, there's just cupcakes.
Huh? I've never seen it. There you have it.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. So maybe I'll let the movie.
Days.
Exactly. The
youngsters and their weddings.
I'll let them have.
They don't have any money. That's the problem.
That's right. Yeah, indeed. They just wanted to serve avocado toast instead of buying a house.
That's right. Yeah. Why don't they just not get married instead of complain?
The one thing that I think keeps this movie from being fully January 6th, as Daniel put it, is the fact that the central couple is interracial. And that's like no small thing. And that is a movie that a thing that this movie does.
I guess.
However, look, I'm all for colorblind casting. I'm all for like not being an issue in the dialogue, and I bring it up like it's just there and we should just take it as a normal thing because it is a normal thing. But maybe don't have a small child come out and look at him and say, my grandfather has a lot of guns.
Yeah.
Maybe don't have the mom say, let that boy in.
Yes.
Like, think this through, guys.
Yeah.
You know, there are,
This is why I just hard disagree with you on the casting. This is worse. They are doing this to prove that they don't see color. They're not doing it to widen the net of inclusivity. They're doing it so they can call him boy. And so they can that's why they're doing it. It's so frustrating. And then he says he sang in the choir and there's a chance for them to go to his church. And they're like, I don't want to go there. What? You don't want to do what now? This is something. It is something.
Well,
oh my goodness.
Guys, I trust Joel Paul with my life.
She doesn't want to go to church with him because her boyfriend broke up with her the previous year during Christmas Eve service. But we know where she was the previous year at Christmas. She was sitting at Newark Airport waiting for the bride to come back to New York to start being the food critic of the New York Times and then didn't. And didn't bother to call her. So she did schlep all the way to the airport. This movie wants to be a sequel, but also like forget everything that happened in the previous films. But we remember JPR. We remember.
Yeah. Try to sneak one past us, JPR. You and your coated gay Marine dad.
Yeah, again, basement or garage and what is up, Dad? Like, you're way too into this.
Yeah. He watched Chris Cooper in American Beauty. He was like, I got a performance for you.
Listen, man, you be you. We support you, you know?
I get that the mom is recovering from surgery, but her kitchen pass out is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a movie. I'm terribly sorry.
We gotta stop here for a second. I'll
reenact it.
Go, that's what I was going to do in the opening intro. I was going to be like, can I just
Philo.tv/DTH.
This is a woman who is passing out in air quotes. Philo.tv/DTH. It's so perfect.
Thank you. It's more like yoga,
So
what she's doing.
I waffle back and forth on the Razzies. Part of me here's the argument that it's like, why are you doing this to these people? Worst movie of the year. And the other part of me is like, you get these great moments like Sandra Bullock, who's going and accepting the award and making a thing about understanding not to take herself too seriously.
Wow, Dan found a way to bring up Sandy B.
Believe it or not,
that's crazy.
So I waffle back and forth, and I don't know where I sit on it. But after seeing that pass out scene, it needs to be nominated for Razzie. It's perfect Razzie material. This is not. No one has ever fainted so slowly. It's impossible to faint as slowly as she fainted. It is one of a kind and needs to be studied for years to come.
Yeah, she's fighting gravity every inch of the way.
We rewound it twice and we laughed hysterically.
I recorded it with my phone because I love this.
It was fantastic. It was perfect. Yeah.
There is something about the way this film is lit that when they're in the park by the bench in front of the tree, there were times that I thought they're in front of a green screen, but then we get a different angle. I'm like, no, they're in the place. Yeah. It's just lit in a way that makes them look like they're in front of a green screen.
What I said in my notes is this movie has the ability to somehow infiltrate your TV settings and turn on motion smoothing.
Exactly.
When I was watching the movie, I was like, did someone come in here and turn the motion smoothing on? It was so weird, but Bran has a theory about this.
Well, I can't explain the second half of the movie where there is real snow, and it still looks the same. The scenes where they're using fake snow, though, it makes everything look weird.
You said something about steadying the camera.
Well, yes, and also there's a lot of moving around where the camera is clearly not on a stabilizer. And you can, when you're editing a movie, you can take a shot and you can do stabilize, which is the computer's best guess at how it's supposed to look. And it has some of that weird, look.
So they made the movie in motion smoothing. Basically.
Yes, basically. They were just like, let's just do it. Give it a pass. Give it
in Dolby and motion smoothing.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly right.
Coming to you in Dolby and motion smoothing.
Oh, it's going to hit. It's going to hit.
Dude.
Anything else, Alonso?
Those are the main ones. I'm sure y'all have plenty more.
We talked about it, but this movie is, they want you to believe it's a full-length movie, but it's just not.
No.
Even the title at the beginning of the movie, when they finally get through all the names and all the weird B-roll, the title of the movie is on screen for no less than 10 seconds before going inside of the house. It's crazy. It's long enough for me to go, that was a long time.
Yeah.
You notice how long the title's on. I'm glad that you laughed at Stop, Drop, and Roll, or Steve or whatever. They are fundamentally bad names for dogs. Good luck.
For a dog named Stop, that's asking a lot.
A dog named Drop. It's just, do you know how many times I ask my dog to drop something on a regular basis? Good luck. That is just I don't mean drop. You're not your name.
The command.
Because it's tough. At one point, our lead does say a sharp girl like you, which I just found to be a funny thing to say. Yeah. A sharp girl like you. Guys, this coffee shop is so busy. There are so many people at this coffee shop that when they meet for the first time, Trevor and was it Danielle? Yes.
Yeah.
They go to sit down at a table where a woman is doing a full puzzle.
A full puzzle.
And the puzzle pieces are all over the table. Some of the puzzle pieces are just under Trevor's arm. They're not doing the puzzle. Somebody else at the table is doing the puzzle.
Well, did you notice that to get to that table, they had to walk past the table with the zombie extra?
No.
Maybe it was also Santa. I'm not sure, but it was definitely a gentleman of that age who was just staring straight ahead and not speaking. And it's it's one thing to do the bad, that Will Ferrell, background actor, but he's the opposite. I was either he is furious at the woman he is with, or The Walking Dead is about to happen.
Yeah. Can you imagine sitting down to do a puzzle? And you're I'm ready for this. And then two people come and they sit down and they're just all over your pieces.
Your piece. My edges.
You messed up my edges. I couldn't believe it. They are just what is the bride and groom doing? They are not planning this. Like, they are not a part of this.
They're not doing anything.
Trying on Christmas sweaters.
The bride and the groom are doing as little as possible to plan their own wedding. They have just handed it all off to the best man and maid of honor to make decisions such as the cake and the flowers.
That are made well before 2 weeks out.
Crazy.
Yeah. Also, by the way, the bride, again, last movie, she actually like had a career and interest in life. And 1 year back in this town, and all she can tell her best friend is like, ooh, you should get married to him. Ooh, you should date him. Ooh, like she is such a pushy yenta at this point. It's like, lady, A, you're just about to get married. And B, like, are you already your mom? Like, no woman is that hell bent for leather on getting their friends married off when, you know, they've got other things to do. It was very creepy.
And to your point about the way the movie was shot, it's crazy that scenes that are shot in the same place, like in the same living room, can look so different from scene to scene.
The color correction is insanity.
Does it
hold a white piece of paper in front of the camera, you guys?
I couldn't make heads or tails.
There are scenes where characters go from sunburn to liver jaundice. It is crazy. It's crazy.
I can't believe mom was just dehydrated.
That's unbelievable.
That was nuts. That was wild. And then, they do the whole, like, we're going to go around and we're going to taste a cake. We'll do the flowers. And they're walking on Main Street and they're like, what a great day. We didn't disagree on anything. Like, that was amazing. And then he goes to drop her off at her house. And he's like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, we really just didn't agree on anything today. And I'm just like, what happened?
Nope.
Crazy. And that was like the next scene. I just... but again, I don't trust anybody more than I trust Joel Paul.
I think they maybe shot extra stuff like that. Like they give themselves choices in the editing room. And when they realized that they had 76 minutes, it was like, no choices, everything.
We just put it all in there.
Put it all in.
East Lansing twice in a row. Doesn't matter.
Put it all in. Put it all in.
It's the JPR signature.
That's right. Dano?
This movie starts with two women talking about rearranging seats on a wedding chart, but there is no chart. They both have it memorized, which is just, as someone that loves to rely on his memory, that's just crazy. I've never seen a scene like this without them moving pieces or looking at a map. One of them's like, we could move Mr. Phelps to table 6 and then take Johnny Dearborn over and put him at 2. And you're like, where are you looking? And they're just talking. Like, they just know it. I was blown away by that as the start of this movie. The bride says, I can't wait to go to Cancun. 2 whole weeks of no wedding planning. What? First of all, you're not planning this wedding. Second of all, isn't it a lifetime of no wedding planning? When you get back, you're done. You don't have any. And unless
I hate to break this to you,
unless you had a big change of career, you're not a wedding planner. I think that you're in the clear here, lady. I think you're set for life. You don't ever have to do it again.
Or at the very least, the average of 5 years. You got to solid at least 5 years, right?
The guy she's marrying, our cop from the first movie.
Yes.
Did he get dumber?
He's so dumb in this movie.
It would appear.
He looks like he's been lobotomized. Like, he is like really, really, really stupid. And I don't know why in this movie.
That's comedy. You don't know comedy like Joel Paul does.
I was very confused by that. You mentioned it in the synopsis. I can't believe it got back to me. This woman's previous boyfriend broke up with her on Christmas Eve in a church service in between 2 Christmas carols.
Maybe he was handing her the collection plate and said, by the way, we're through.
This is the
Sleep in
heavenly peace.
We're breaking up.
Joy to the world. This is
I'm done with you.
This is the Bob We Add a Baby It's a Boy of breakups. That's what this is. That's what this is.
Sleep in heavenly peace, just like our relationship. It's
Turn
done.
to hymn number 500. We're through. Joy to the. I couldn't believe what was happening there.
Oh wow, you think her boyfriend's leading? You think he's the worship pastor?
He's on stage. Diana, we're through. Joy to the world. Lord is-
Kick rocks and yell, I'm done with this.
You know how I know this is a movie that is godless above all else is because this movie in the year of our Lord 2023,
It's December of 23.
think of all the Christmas movies made in the last 10 years. This movie has a lead that actively tells you his dog is a purebred. Not like it is a purebred, but like adoption of dogs is such a universal thing that every Christmas movie has decided, you know, these movies are scrappy and we want to showcase something that everyone can get behind. And this movie, he's like, this is a purebred Dalmatian. And if you don't believe him, there's a scene later where you see that dog's nutsack. There is no way around
That
them
would be
going,
roll, I think.
we are not here for adopt, don't shop. We are here to breed animals.
Dude, the 3D in this movie is wild.
I mean, okay, I can't believe I'm coming to the defense of this, but I mean, don't firemen always have like actual Dalmatians, or is that? I mean,
I think that's not real.
I don't think that's a
also,
thing.
aren't purebred Dalmatians like the stupidest dogs on
They're
earth?
not
Like,
right.
yeah.
I think that you could have found any Dalmatian or any spotted dog, really. This movie goes out of its way.
This guy
Can you
watches
imagine-
101 Dalmatian and is like, huh,
Yeah,
Crowdeville's onto something.
yeah, they're evil.
Crowdeville's the hero
Yeah.
of that movie.
Maybe she could be Speaker of the House. Literally, they don't have enough money for background actors, and they're filming this movie with cameras that just do all kinds of funky things with the color. But they're like, I need a purebred Dalmatian. I need one stat. I need this dog to be in between breeds.
The actual Holly, Michigan firehouse has to have the real
I'm
Dalmatians.
sure.
There's no way they made any effort to get one.
Yeah, you're right. Fair.
They stumbled into it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then after they saw the shot of what you mentioned, the down
I don't know if
theirs,
we can air that or not, but
after
it's in there.
they show the down theirs, they were like, we got to work it into the script somewhere.
We can't just have that walking around. They go to the bakery where this woman from Lansing with the French accent has a sign in the back of the bakery that says, I kiss better than I cook. Ma'am, I'm not here to kiss you. That is not a brag. I'm here to buy the pastries, and you're telling me you do other things better than that. I'm out. Get out of here.
But Dan, if the cookies were really good, you'd be like, huh.
yeah, that's true. If the baked goods were really good, I'd be like,
All right, well then,
that's
let's serve it up. I mean, the place is called Cupcakes and Kisses, right?
Yeah.
sure.
They show the sign a bunch of times, but yeah, that does open the door to some very uncomfortable
What's her
transactions.
deal, you think? She just, she has a rule. Anybody who asks, I will kiss them. It's a part of my deal.
Maybe it's like a combo, like a soup and salad kind of thing on the menu, where
That's
like
right.
6 croissants,
a
and she'll throw
scone
in
and a kiss.
Yeah.
They go to the firehouse. And he's like, "Let me take you on a tour of the trucks." And he's showing you the trucks, all these fire trucks, and he's like, "All the trucks are used for different things. For instance, this truck, this truck is really good at putting the fire out." What? Well, I hope you take that one every time then. What are the other 2 trucks good at? Moral support? Can you imagine getting there, house engulfed in flames, and they're like, gosh, dang it. We took the truck that's for moral support.
The siren.
You
on
can do it.
The siren on the beat truck is like, you go, put it out, put it
You
out.
You got this.
Oh my God. The mom gives the performance of the lifetime passing out. And then we go to a hospital room where the machines are on and taking her blood pressure. The machine is black, pitch black. Like it's not on. None of the
But it's
machines.
beeping.
But there are
So
so
loud.
many loud beeps.
The machine that goes
Yeah.
ping.
Yeah.
And we did notice this movie, like we've got our surround sound, which we get to utilize all the time with the Hallmark movies and whatnot.
It makes it really cool.
This movie is all right in front of us, all front and center,
All center channel.
except for the beeps. The beeps
Or in the
are
rears, yes.
all around us.
For sure. Yeah.
A fun feature of this movie.
Fun feature.
Yeah. Anything else, Dan?
Yeah. Trevor's girlfriend comes in and is like, I'm Trevor's girlfriend. Trevor says nothing. He's like, we're going to go to the wedding together. Trevor says nothing. The guy says nothing the whole scene.
He just watches it unfold.
It is a crazy turn of events to watch these two women, one who is now into him, one who thinks she's still his girlfriend, talk, and him not jump in at any point to be like, well, let me clarify a few things. He just is like, yeah, I'm just going to take it on the chin. I'm just going to take it here. We'll see how it goes.
And then for him, like his excuse is he just didn't.
We were actually together.
It was easier to just let her go. Like I didn't want to have the hard
she was
conversation.
going and she wasn't wrong, so I just let her cook.
Yeah, I just let her, like she was just.
It's not like we were at a Christmas Eve service or anything.
No. Of course
This is
not.
better.
Yeah.
This is better. Anything else?
All right.
It's time for What the Hallmark Story. Wonder what could have been. Maybe this is a clarity questions that we still have that could be answered in Civil Christmas, maybe.
Oh,
maybe we get some
no.
answers in Civil Christmas.
I guarantee you. This. All of these movies are in Michigan. I guarantee you. I've not looked at a thing. I don't want any part of it. I guarantee you that A Civil Christmas has some sort of Southern sympathizer in it, or the hero is Southern. I'm all in. You can read it if you want. You don't even have to answer me. I'll bet my house. I'm all in.
You're all in.
I'm all in that there is a Southerner who's a good person in this movie. Right now, I'll bet my house. Read the synopsis. I've not looked at it.
During the Civil War, a wounded Union soldier falls in love with a Southern woman while
got
taking
it.
refuge
Done
in their
and
cabin
done.
on Christmas Eve.
Easy. That was the easiest call of all time.
So you win another house?
I get another house. Yeah, that's how it works. You guys
Okay,
took the
that
bet.
works?
I get a second house.
Great.
Let's
Fabulous.
do
You have a
this
second
Southern
house.
woman's hair is fantastic for the Civil War period.
Oh my gosh.
What the Hallmark? What do you got, Alonso?
At what point does the town of Holly, Michigan collectively decide to stop being polite about these movies?
Should have been years ago.
Yeah, like, look, we appreciate the shots of the stores and everything, but maybe go make a movie in Duluth now, you know.
Yeah. Minnesota.
If Joel could just reach out and let us know, how much do these movies cost to make? I'm genuinely interested.
Yes, I am too.
Does he? Like, there's a world where this movie costs $0.
Yes.
Like everybody in town is doing him a favor. He's using, I don't know.
The sets are already dressed for the holidays.
Camcorder that he grew up with. Like,
the most this could be is double-digit thousands. I can't imagine this movie costing more than $60,000 or $70,000. That is the max.
The score is all like when you hit the like test button on your Casio, right? Like
this
pre-programmed.
This movie is so low quality that we didn't even mention the 6 montages that this movie has. 6. We didn't even mention it.
That are useless.
It's just
that's part of it.
That's another
so
one.
long.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Dan, anything?
So our lead mentioned several times that he, like, very important part of his life is singing in the church choir. Like, through his family, he invites this woman to come to the church to hear him sing. She's like, no, I can't do that. You're not going to believe this. I hope you sit down. And then,
Silent Night.
and then Joy to the World. Imagine.
Triggering.
Yeah. And then I think we're to assume that he just doesn't go and sing because he's with them pretty much the whole. Did this guy bail on singing in his church's choir, even though it's his favorite thing to do, because this girl's dad took a liking to him? Like, what?
Dude, you haven't been down there with him.
You haven't been down in that man cave. What in the world?
Once you
He's going to be singing with the Methodists now.
What in the world happened? Like, this is a big part of this guy's. This is the only defining trait of this guy that isn't Fireman. It's the only one. And then it's just like, well, it's not important to us here in this story, so you can skip it. There's that.
Yes. There is that. We did it.
Yeah, we did.
We did it, everybody. We're getting to all the heavy hitters this month because it's Christmas in July, everybody.
Yeah.
Join us next week for Merry Christmas, Marry.
Oh, I get it.
Starring the Lawrence brothers.
Oh my God.
Which all three?
At least two. I don't think Andy's in it.
That's the best actor.
Yeah. I think it's just Matt
Joey and Matt.
Joey.
Oh no.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Got to be better than this movie, right?
Let's find out. Join us next week. Join us next week for that. Until then, may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by
Andy
Aaron
Lawrence
Shea.
directed it.
For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.